Hey guys, Dan from Wilder Mr. Grey back once again with the debunking ghost videos and the paranormal with logic. As always, if you want to go to the first video, go to this time here. Apologies for the lateness of this video. I've been doing other things, mainly watching Dark on Netflix. I can't get enough of that show. I love it. Go watch it. I've been doing other things, and I have been looking at videos to debunk, and I've been going through loads of videos all week, and this is why it's been late going up. But essentially, we got a couple here. I've grabbed some from Nukes top 5, and I've grabbed some from Spooks. My name is Sir Spooks. There's also a video as well at the end of this one which I can't debunk, sort of, and I'll explain why when I get to it. But I've included in here because people are always asking me, are there any videos you can't debunk? And I give this explanation where I say there's not enough to go on. Sometimes the footage is too grainy. I do sort of have an explanation for the one I can't debunk, but it's so out there. That's why I'm saying I can't debunk it. But anyway, the first one I want to get to is from a channel called Really Haunted. I've talked about Really Haunted in a previous video. Can't remember what the clip was now. But the latest one, this was on Nukes top 5, and it shows them in beds, and they have a bedside cabinet which starts shaking, and then a little figurine drops off, and you know, shit happens. There's a couple of things I could see in that was a bit strange to me. Now, when the bed, the cabinet starts moving, there's a wire which I've highlighted it. I've highlighted the wire, and it is up. That's one side of the wire. That's the other side of the wire. And when it shakes, it gradually gets down. Pretty much, I think that's the wire. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm fairly sure they've used a mask in that. And I've highlighted where the mask is, because when the shaking stops, the wire goes back to where it originally was. So what I think has happened, that the cabinet shaking was filmed first, then they set the camera up to go to sleep and just left it and then spliced it all together using masks. That's why when the shaking of the cabinet happens, the wire rests to the other part of the wire is where that wire stays for the rest of the night. And also as well, when the figure drops, there is two frames where it disappears. It disappears and reappears underneath the wire part. So that's why I think there's a mask there with a feathering edge, soft edge around it. But no, that's how I think that's done. And, you know, it's very good, but like I said, that wire gives her away, and the figure disappearing from those two frames gives her away as well. But a good one. And another video from their channel. Looks like they're having a party with Tony Montana or something. Either that or it's flour, I can't remember. But he's got a plate of flour, and this is someone suggested to him they do these experiments to leave it there and see if something happens with the flour. And after a few minutes, you see something being drawn in the flour, which is weird. There's a couple of things you can see in that. And I've pointed them out. I've highlighted where there is a step in frames. So basically, before the line comes in, there's like a missing frame or two, or a jolt, where the first part is instantly there, and then you gradually see it go across the flour. Now the reason for that is where I think, because I made my own little experiment, and pretty much tried to copy what he did. I did it a bit, mine's a bit janky, because I went too deep with my finger. But it's the same effect. If you look at the beginning of the effect, the first part just sort of like jolts in and then gradually done. And the reason that is, and I think it's the same reason why he looks like that on his footage, is because of the transition I used. It's just a simple smooth cut transition. And what I did with this, and what I assume is the exact same thing, because on their footage, after you see the line come in, there's like a frame or two where it just goes back to normal. Obviously, that's the rest of the footage. I filmed the salt on the plate. Then I drew my finger through it. Then I went back and I cut out the part where I'd drawn the finger drawing, whatever. masked that over the original footage of just the salt, and then gradually blended it in. That's all that is, but it's very simple to do. And that's exactly what his looks like. His is a bit more subtle because he doesn't go quite as deep with his finger mark. I went too deep because bloody sausage fingers. But you get the idea. And that's that one. Right, the next one, it's not so much a debunking this one, but I wanted to include this one because it was on Sir Spooks. And I'd never seen this guy before. And first of all, I'm not having to go with the guy in the video because I'll tell you why. But Sir Spooks' video, he shows is there a pixie? And I was looking, and I was waiting for it to come out, and I thought it's going to be something like a bloody leaf flying past the camera or some other animal. But then it came out, and it was actually a bloody pixie.
There. Ah, well, at least we've got a shot of one.
Now, anyone looking will 100% is CG, right? I'm not going to debate that with anyone. It's 100% CG. It's very good CG, I gotta say. The lighting is slightly off, but I've included a couple of videos of his, and the CG is bloody great, I gotta say. It's, you know, they're animated going behind twigs, trees, foliage. It's really good, but like I said, the lighting is slightly off. But that's not where I want to point this video out, to be honest, because that's obvious, right? When you go to the channel. But the channel name or person's name is Erwin Saunders.
Now you probably can't see where I am in this frame, but you'll get to quite a big surprise when I show you that I'm here. I'm just joking, of course. It's not the most convincing.
I've watched quite a few of his videos now, and I think the problem is that I've looked him up since. He stopped uploading 11 months ago, and I've looked him up. You cannot find anything about him whatsoever. The only thing I found was a forum page, and I can't remember what it was called. It was about pixies and his channel, basically. But I love the guy. I think the guy's brilliant. He's like almost like a lovable, bumbling David Attenborough, but with pixies. And he does this so seriously, but, well, I say serious. He's like, you know, he falls over things, and he's quite comedic. And it's almost like a real show you would watch on, like, say, Discovery or something. Like, you know, whereas instead of little forest, I don't know, what do you find in forest? Birds or something. It's pixies. And I don't know, like I said, I've looked this up. I can't find anything about it. So I don't know if it was like a publicity stunt for like an upcoming TV show. This was in the UK, by the way. Or it's just some guy just wanted to make cool videos. Because the production in them really is quite high. You know, it has music in them. It has dynamic shots. Like I said, the CG is really bloody good in it. I don't know if this is the guy in the videos doing the CG or someone else or a little small production team. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing you can't do at home with a lot of practice. It's not the CG in that is not something you're just going to learn within a week. It's quite sophisticated CG in these videos. It's not something you can probably do after like a week's of tutorial on Blender. It's way more complicated than that. But like I said, you can see a CG, but it is really good. But yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He haven't uploaded for 11 months. I really hope he's okay, because I really like the guy. When you watch his videos, you'll see where I mean. It's the most wholesome video. That's the word I'm looking for. And such a lovable guy he seems like. And yeah, I hope everything's okay, and he just decided not to do him anymore. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not debunking this. Anyone who goes to that channel can clearly see a CG, but this was on the top 10 channels, as always. And, you know, enough said. but yeah, Erwin Saunders. I've linked it down description below. Go and have a look. I really like his channel. I sub to him. I hope he uploads again one day. Anyway. Alright, this next one was on Nukes Top 5. And it's from a channel called Catch 'em All Fishing. Never seen it before. It's quite clickbaity. He is quite clickbaity, but he catches like fish, catches snakes, goes hunting for iguanas for some bloody reason. I didn't watch them once because I didn't want to watch them. But in his most recent video, he's exploring like an abandoned building somewhere, looking for pythons. He starts hearing like in the beginning of the video. Again, I've linked this down below. In the beginning of the video, he's like, even at the quietest speaking, the echo and reverberations in that building are huge. You know, you can hear the voice, his voice, for like a few seconds after he says something. And in the middle of the video, he starts hearing, like, when he's deep into the building, he starts hearing other voices reverberating around the building. Now, there's many, he points out in the video, there's many entrances here and there, so it could be anyone. The voices are not that bothered by them. But then the last part, he's filming like a water leak in the wall, and you can see he's got a torch on his head, but you can see he's holding like a phone camera or a camera, because you can see the shadow briefly of both his fingers and hands right there. So we know it's not him when a torch appears from behind, but a torch appears from behind on the wall in front of him, and he quickly turns around, and then the footage cuts. I wonder why it cuts. And then he gives like an explanation. He said, I was sure somebody was following me throughout this footage, but he never shows anything after that little splice, and no more footage. So I stopped it. And where he stops the footage, you can clearly see a guy standing there. He's got a jacket, got like a white t-shirt or something, a beanie hat on, and he's got one of the headlamps exactly like he's wearing himself. And like, we don't know what happened after that footage. I reckon that was just his mate. I think that was just his mate going along with him, or like, I don't know, just to keep an eye out for anyone else. And he decided to just fib about it and just say, oh, I don't know what happened after this. Well, he does know, because there's definitely more footage after that. He just didn't upload that. So it's just a guy in a beanie hat. That's all there is. Nothing ghostly about it. And that's that one. The next one is from a channel called Twin Paranormal. I've never seen these before. Twins. But they're exploring Fort Stevens. Don't know where that is. Somewhere in America. And there's two things in this which were pointed out on Nukes Top 5. And one is a ghostly face rising up the wall as they're walking past. But it's not that. You know, throughout the video is hammering down with rain outside. There's water logged all through the building. He's pointing his torch down, as you can clearly see, which is just reflecting off the water on the floor onto the wall. That's all that is. That's simple enough to explain. And then the next part, they see a shadow at the end of a hallway just fly past, simple fly past, and then they start running out. Now, even though they on their channel, they have 3 a.m. videos, right? And, you know, you know what kind of channel that's going to be then. And they also have, before they did all this haunting stuff, they have, like, wacky videos. Like, I handcuffed myself to my twin for 24 hours. Or I have to say yes to everything for 20, you know, one of those channels. You know what kind I mean. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't add that in post. And I'm going to say it was just something, they might have moved their hand in front of their torch or something, and that's what the shadow was at the end of the hallway. I don't know. But you'll see what I mean if you go to the channel, what kind of channel it is. That's all I'm saying. Right, the final video, this is one I can't debunk. I've been asked about this video many times. I've gone over and over and over in this video many times over the last couple of months, and today I must have looked at this video for about almost 2 hours, frame by frame, looking for like string. I was looking for string behind the trolley, the bottom left. You can't rule that out because you can't see underneath the trolley, but I'm saying I can't debunk this one, but I am going to give an explanation for it, and I've pointed a few things out. Now, this is a bit out there, I must admit. This might be grasping, I don't know. But this is my explanation, what it could be. But the reason I'm saying I can't debunk this, because I know my explanation is probably grasping a bit, right? So I'm going to say can't debunk, but here it goes. Shall I put my glasses on for this one to look more professional? No, I won't. No. Okay. Anyway, throughout this video, you will see I'm saying that wrong. You will see interpolating frames throughout the footage in this. Not in all of it, but in most of it, you'll see little where basically the software, this happens in a lot of software, where it will add the frame. Like your TVs do it for certain programs. Some editing software, you can do it manually, adding frames, but I don't know why the CCTV does it, but maybe it does for whatever reason. But what I can see, I should say, this was going around in January, and I remember seeing this one, and I thought, that's really good. That is really good. And basically, she puts her foot up, and the stool moves just before. And if you look at it in motion, that stool 100% moves before her foot gets about that close to it. So the stool definitely moves, then her foot tries to grasp onto it. That's what it looks like, okay? But like I said, I went frame by frame by frame through this bloody footage, and I almost gave up on it, and I was just going to add it and say something I can't debunk, but like, this is my explanation, and it's a bit nuts. Like I said, throughout this footage, the software on their CCTV is interpolating frames, basically adding frames into it. And what happens with interpolating frames, it will add like a frame behind the... if there's like a low frame rate, I should say, it will add a frame behind the actual current frame, and it will also add a frame in front of it, so it gives you a smoother motion when in motion, right? Sounds a bit weird, but trust me. But I've noticed in two parts of this video, if you look, I've highlighted it, her foot right there now. You can see the current frame, which is obviously the solid white foot, and then you can see like a ghostly foot in front, which has already gone down, because that's the software's interpolated the frame. Going a bit more forward, when her left foot goes up towards the stool, again, I've highlighted it, you can see a ghostly foot, which is already touching the stool. Once again, the footage is interpolating the frame forwards. It's not predicting the future by adding a ghostly foot there. Basically, the foot is already there, but it's interpolating between the two frames, right? So the reason you don't see that kind of thing on like the stool or anything else, because they're static objects. They will only show that in fast motion or whatever on certain softwares. So what I think is happening, and like I said, this is a bit nuts, I know, but what I think is happening, that her foot does touch the stool and knocks it forward, and then she without looking, she knocks it forward, falls, and takes a hell of a hit. Now, I should say, I should have said at the beginning, nothing is faked in this footage. I don't think anything is faked. You can see by the hit she takes, she didn't mean to do that at all. But that's where I think it is, that her foot did touch the stool. But because of the way the software works with interpolating frames, it looks like in motion that that the stool moves before her foot gets to it. So we got one frame of the foot there, and that's the stool. But we got the interpolated frame of the foot, which is actually touching it. And that's what kicks the frame, the stool away. That's my explanation. But I know how nuts that is, right? This is why I'm still putting this down, as I can't fully debunk this one. But that is my weird, out there explanation of what I think is going on in that footage. And if you look what interpolating means and what kind of software uses it, where it adds frames behind and forwards to make it a smoother motion on certain video programs. That's what I think is happening there, and that's what I think happened. But obviously, when they went back to review it and they just saw it in normal motion, it looks like the stool moves before the foot hits. I could be 100% wrong, but that is my explanation. Nuts, I know. Most insane explanation of the week goes to me. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for today. As always, leave a comment down below if you think I'm full of shit. Or if you agree with me, or you think, oh, maybe he's onto something with that one. I don't know. But yeah, that's it for that one. Sorry it was so late. I will be having another couple of videos coming out soon. Again, top 10 stupid, And as always, I like reading your comments and answering as much as I can. There'll be one of them as well. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a sub if you're new to my channel. I try to get a video or two out at least once a week. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.